So I kind of got into cycling about 3 or 4 years ago. My dad and my uncle actually kind of got me really into it. I started riding with them, and I was not nearly as good as they were. And it kind of was just like they pushed me hard, and it really just was lots of fun. I learned a lot from it, and it was just like a lot of teamwork experience. And then I kind of I realized that Sean was actually cycling too, and I started kind of going with him. So it was lots of fun. Sean had his own inspirations for cycling.
Yeah. I knew a man named Kevin Deegan who biked, and he had cerebral palsy, so he could only use one arm and one leg. And he was always sort of an inspirational figure for me. So when when I knew we were doing cycling, and I had seen what this man could do, I knew that I wanted to do a project with this. Even though my focus didn't involve him, I just knew that cycling could be very powerful if it's used correctly.
I came cycling after Graham and Sean. I was introduced to it after I went to the second annual Tour de Bogel, and it was really inspiring to see all the racers. I thought it was incredible. And now it's become a large part of my life.
He started out on a Walmart bike, and it was certainly an experience for him.
And I had an experience similar to Lawrence's. One day, Graham just says, "Hey, you're going on a bike ride with us." And I'm like, "All right, how far?" Like, about 8 miles. I'm like, that doesn't seem too far. How long did it end up being? 15 miles. I was not prepared for that. So I decided to take it a little slow by myself a little bit.
Then he made it harder for himself. But.
Yeah. And then I think I've joined them on one ride so far, like one actual ride, and I've been riding by myself, trying to get them to their level. Definitely not at their level yet.
And I've mostly gotten into cycling as a way to commute, because my family doesn't own enough cars for everybody to be where they need to be. So and I've ridden with these guys a bunch, and I'm planning on racing when I can. So this is our big question: why is cycling good for us, and how can we promote it in our community? So first
We're going to focus on the benefits of cycling. Our presentation is go through our story of what we've done in our project, but also we really focus on why cycling, like how to be safe, and like the benefits of cycling in general. One thing we should focus on is the health for cycling. Right now you have a picture of Ron Paul, and actually he does cycling, and many like older folks do cycling, and actually that's how they can stay in shape throughout their whole entire lives. I know that most of the people I ride actually are like in their 50s, and they smoke. They're a lot better than me. They're like averaging 20 miles per hour, and they're really good. And like the good thing about this is like it's very good for your health. You can burn over 700 calories an hour going 14 miles per hour, and it's like right now it's like Americans are being overweight, and there's these big obesity and other such issues. It's causing lots of problems in our society, such as diabetes. They've shown, like in other countries, such as Switzerland, that when they have alternative forms of commuting, such as cycling or walking, it greatly reduces obesity in the society. And so that's why we're trying to promote more of cycling as an alternative to driving. Cycling also is very good for our economy. A lot of money, as shown above, is spent on cycling every year. And we have events like the Delmet, which is shown in this picture, which actually they stop in Mount Pleasant, and they promote local commerce. Also, a big event that happens every year, and it's actually going to be this year, 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's the Tour de Mount Pleasant, as Lawrence talked about. My uncle and his wife were in and my aunt, we're the ones who kind of started this, because she's in charge of the Chamber of Commerce. And it's really been kind of like a big thing, and they've been promoting it over the last, like, I think it's 4th year this year, and it is awesome. I started out volunteering the very first year, and I've had a blast, and it really kind of like puts Mount Pleasant on the map. It's kind of like we have people all across the United States, and even people from England and Australia and everywhere coming over here. This is one of the biggest races west of the Mississippi.
It is the biggest race east of the Mississippi.
East of the Mississippi, yeah. Yes. It is over, they have a race that's over, it's 110 miles?
120 miles.
120 miles. And it's really big, and it's lots of fun. You just see these people, they're insane. It's definitely worth coming. It's on the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Of June.
Alright, so, cycling is a pretty, people ask you, what's your senior project, and you say cycling, that doesn't really explain much. So we decided to kind of branch out and do separate things. Myself and Brendan decided to do a going green side of cycling and promote walking as well. So, here are just some statistics that kind of motivated us to look at going green.
Yeah, this graphic there, I don't know if you can read it, it just basically says how, any sort of biking fast, really fast, kind of fast, slow, whatever, it's free, so you don't pay for gas, and then that reduces the carbon emissions that are in the atmosphere, which is very good for the environment if you decide to cycle.
Okay. So, some more stats. If 0.5% of Americans, 0.5% more, decided to bike, 462 million gallons of gas can be saved a year. And also in 2003, cars that were stuck in traffic jams wasted 5 billion gallons of gas.
And with cycling, you don't have to be stuck in traffic jams, because you're on a bike, you're not in a car.
So what we did, some of you may have heard about it, some of you might not. We're not the best at publicity. We tried to get people to bike, walk, or carpool to school last Friday. And although we didn't think the results were great at first, we noticed this morning there's 1 bike out there and 2 bikes out front. And on Friday, we had a few more. And out back there are also about 7 or 8 bikes. So, I mean, even that little bit helps. I mean, if you think about it, most cars do not have, whatever it is. Their fuel efficiency is really low when it first starts running, and its pollution, like prevention, is really bad in the first few miles. So to have people bike or walk or carpool to school is helpful, even if 10 or 20 people did it.
Right, and the cool part about this event that we did was, like after school, I had my bike, and I was, taking it outside, and somebody asked me why I had a bike, and somebody else said, you're supposed to bike to school today, is what they wanted to do. Like, that's kind of cool. Somebody else had to say that. I didn't have to say that. So, it was, the awareness was there, and it was very wonderful, and we made an impact. Yes, as Sean said, like the carbon emissions, it's not efficient in the first few minutes of the car's operation, and there's increased maneuverability in a bicycle, so you're not stuck in traffic jams. And good for your schedule, it's definitely true. I have a stat here that says rush hour auto commuter spends an average of 50 hours a year stuck in traffic. It's more than 2 days in traffic a year. Yeah, it's terrible.
When you arrive after cycling, you might feel a little bit physically tired, but you'll be awake, ready to take on whatever is thrown at you in the day. You'll be, I find that I feel much more refreshed and much less restless during the day if I ride.
And you commute like very often.
I commute every day on
So
my bike, like to give some quick, we'll go through this quickly, but just some tips on how to cycle safely, courteously. First of all, just know that cyclists need to follow the same rules as automobiles, whether that's stopping at stop lines, obeying stop signs, obeying speed limits, or not going the wrong way down one-way streets. That's an important one. Cyclists also have the same rights, which means that you can take action against somebody if you get in a collision with a car. If you follow the rules of the road, it's safer. You'll improve the reputation of cyclists. You'll help drivers get more comfortable with cyclists being on the road. Signaling. Signaling is important to show people where you're intending on going. When you guys want to model these. A left turn is just obviously pointing to the left. A right turn is either pointing your left hand up or your right hand out. And then stopping is just with your left hand pointing down. Some simple things to increase safety. Wearing a helmet. It's important, and it's also important to do it right. Obviously, as you can see in most of these situations, the sky isn't very protective. Wear one that fits you right, and wear it on the top of your head. Ride on the right side of the road. Don't ride in the left lane. Follow the direction of traffic. Don't go the wrong way down one-way streets, because you're very likely to run into somebody. Usually you can take about a third of the lane. On a busy road, try to ride as close to the white line as possible or on the shoulder if it's nice and wide, but generally taking a third of the lane is a good option because it leaves cars plenty of room to get around you. You can travel two abreast, so if you're riding with another person, they can ride next to you and it's perfectly legal as long as you stay close enough together so you're not taking up the whole lane.
Not recommended in high traffic, though.
Yes, not recommended in high traffic areas. Wear bright clothing. I mean, it's not essential, but it's a good thing to do. Just so you can be seen. If you're going to ride at night or at dusk, use lights. This is essential.
You do not have to be as bright as
Yeah, that guy overdid it maybe a little bit. But just a front light and a rear light on your bicycle can really help keep you safe when you're riding in the dark. If you feel threatened, just do what you would normally do if you got in a close call with a car. Just get their license number and contact the police. They'll know what to do. And then, even if you don't have a great bike or cycling gear, just ride. It's fun. You don't have to go fast. If you're just going on a short commute, just leave 10 minutes earlier so you can get there on time.
Also, these people should be wearing helmets still. Alright, and so our biggest thing was after doing all this research, we said, how do we implement this? How do we get this out in the community? And so I talked to people earlier and made a proposal. I thought, Master Miracles, it's a big event. How can we piggyback on this? And so I made a proposal that we could have the cyclists ride around the block at the same time as the walk/run, and it would help not only promote cycling, but also at the same time support Master Miracles and fight against cancer. And so this is a poster we made. I might have seen it around school. And this is the day, last Friday. I have a couple more pictures.
This is Clinton being a very bad example of how to
Don't do
ride.
that.
Use holding handlebars and wear your helmet.
It's just a very fancy helmet.
Yes. No.
And finally, we're going to wrap up this on June 8th, 9th, and 10th. A few of us are going to race there's the 4.1 mile time trial on Friday on CMU campus, and the 54 mile road race on Sunday. It's going to be really intense, so if you want to come out and support us, we'll be driving. And also, we're probably planning on making just